Hello gorgeous ones, Dr. Lucy here. It's just after 5. Tonight I'm cooking what I call my Mexican bake-off. Now I'm just, while everyone's jumping on board, I'm just going to get up my computer so that I can hopefully, as I said, see the comments, because I'm just had a bit of a gutful of Facebook, but if I say that too loud they might sort of banish me. But guess what? I've got the computer up. Woohoo. Look at this, seeing myself. Hey Lyndon. Hey Sheena, how are you gorgeous ones? So the great Mexican bake-off it is tonight. It's a variation on a very similar theme that you will all know about. So we'll get cracking, hey? So I've got my pot on. I'm actually using a little bit of this olive oil tonight. It's called Cobram Estate. I mean, really everyone knows that. It's just got a little bit of chili in it. And basically I'm using this one because I'm making a Mexican dish, so it seemed like a good opportunity. I don't actually use this very often, to tell you the truth. I use the lemon one a lot on salads. Some little minion will come and pick that up. You know, all those minions I've got working for me. I've got Cleaver's hamburgers. I love these. They're made from organic beef. Basically, they're just beef in a round thing. Stops me having to do it. So they're just going into the bottom of this pan and I'm going to cook them up. This is a tiny bit fancy for me tonight, this one. It's actually possibly going to use 2 pans. I'll just see how it goes. I might leave it in the 1 pan, but I'm thinking 2 pans. Hey Kerry, hey Robin. And guess what? I found my lucky saucepan lid. So, you know, no more big fat square saucepan. So I've got those 4 hamburger buns. I'm just going to do them lightly, because actually what I'm going to do, the great Mexican bake-off, is actually I'm going to layer everything a little bit like a lasagna, except without any pasta, into this thing, and then that'll go into the oven. So basically I'm doing that bob down because my camera's not quite right and I think I'm cutting off the top of my head. So I'm sort of walking now like one of those people that walks sort of with doing some race where you have to walk like a duck. So anyway, so I don't know why I've got the lid on, really. I'm cooking hamburgers, I don't need a lid. So a bit of a flip. Really what I'm doing, I'm not actually cooking them, I'm really just going to brown them. So that, because what I'm actually going to do is cut them up to put them on the bottom of this pan. So nothing super fancy, but just a little bit of cutting up. How's everyone's day been anyway? Mary and I, we're in a very busy period of our lives at the moment. So if you've been following us, you know that we both did a talk for Low Carb Down Under on Sunday, which was totally awesome. And I'm gonna tell you, can you tell us about, yes. So this portable induction cooker, it's a chef's toolbox one. So there's nothing, chef's toolbox don't exist anymore. You can probably find one if you put an ad up for Marketplace, because I'm sure lots of people like me bought them. And really, I've had it sitting in the cupboard for about 12 years and I'm only just using it now, mainly because it's much easier for me to cook here than right up the other end of my kitchen where the stove lives. So yeah, I reckon if you Googled portable induction cooktop chef's toolbox, there'll be a whole pile of them for sale somewhere. Anyway, so as I'm just cooking these very, easy brown hamburger things, so Mary, you know when you have that moment of pride about what your friend does? Seriously, Mary gave the best talk at Low Carb Down Under, and Rob Zabo, who's a low carb medical doctor, a lot of people might know him. He owns the Low Carb Clinic and he now has moved that to online, and it's now called Diversa, which is all about reversing diabetes, Diversa. Anyway, how's this for a high praise? He says, as Mary's just finished, I think that was the best talk I've ever heard at one of these events. And I'm just practically wetting my pants in the corner, thinking, oh my God, because Rob has been to a lot of conferences. He's been to the Low Carb Down Unders that are over in America, and he's done, been doing these ones in Australia. So I just thought that is super high praise. So she did, she talked about, her talk was basically for people that know low carb, so they know the theory, but they get blocked. You know, they can't do it. They fall off the wagon. She busted through the myth of a wagon, and for those of you who know, we talk about the all-terrain vehicle, and she gave two examples of people. One who was just a bloke who he needed to do low carb, he had fatty liver and all of those things. And basically okay, guess what? This thing's not showing up the comments. I've got my computer over here. I'll see if I can get it to come up with any. Oh, yes, it is. Oh, beauty. Great, excellent. I'll go through those as we're watching. So anyway, she gave the example of two people. One was a bloke, just happened to be a bloke. It wasn't about, you know, the man finds it easier than the woman or anything like that. So it was a bloke. She gave him a 1 hour talk on low carb, and he just went off and did it. You know, 2 years later, she saw him. He's lost his 20 kilos, reversed his fatty liver, eats low carb, no problem. The other one she talked about was a lady very similar to many of the people that we see, which was somebody who did it, brilliant, lost their 12 kilos, reversed their fatty liver, then moved state. And in moving state, completely, you know, lost the plot, as people would say. By the way, I've just, you know, flung in some frozen onions, which I'm now just lining the bottom of this tray, of this little, just getting it back so it's in focus. This is just some old Corningware that's been in the cupboard for, well, nearly 25 years, because I think it was a wedding present. And I'm just layering that. So I'm putting the onion down the bottom first. I could have probably kept the onion in because I'm going to put some sauce. Maybe I'll cook some more. I do like a bit of onion. Has lots of antioxidants and good antiviral properties in there. So I'm going to fling some more in and then just put the sauce in, because I'm going to show you how I'm going to do it. So I've got the sauce. This one Mexican, so of course I'm using the taco flavouring, why wouldn't I? So anyway, Mez did a beautiful, I guess, narrative about this lady's journey and how, you know, she would have periods of stress and distress, and that would cause her to give up temporarily, but she just kept persisting. So she finally sort of did some work with Mary. God, I'm having a bit of trouble opening this, sorry about that. And I'm trying to talk and I don't want to chop my fingers off, so there we go, that's a good combo. So she did some work with Mez and basically learnt to manage her mind when times were tough, because that's what happens. We all go brilliantly and then something happens, times get a bit tough and we go back to our old tool. And remember, eating food when you're stressed or distressed is just a tool that you used to do, that served you well at some stage, that you were probably taught to do. Oh, thank Christ, I just opened the bloody stuff. And I'm just going to pour that in and give that a little thing. I might even get out my famous lid, now that it fits, and just let those onions reduce down a bit with the spice mix in them. And so the turn of events worked out that this lady's weight loss was not fast, but after 2 years, she had lost her 25 kilos. It had gone up. She had periods where it was fine, where she lost 5 kilos, went up a bit, lost another 5, had a plateau, went down a bit, went up a bit, and by the end, she actually had the skills to manage her mind, and she'd been the same weight, so weight neutral, for over 6 months. She'd navigated her way through another couple of difficult work situations and in fact had moved back up to her hometown and still maintained her weight. So I think the message was that, yes, some people manage to make these changes easily, but for lots of us, it's much harder, and it just requires ongoing persistence and support. So basically, back to the Mexican bake-off. I've made some sauce. I've put some onion in the sauce, and I'm just letting that reduce down a bit because I'm going to pour it over. So these little hamburgers, they're only partly cooked. They're really just browned. And I'm just going to chop them a bit, probably into quarters, because I'm going to just sprinkle them over the base of this, whatever you call this thing. What do you call this again? This white thing? A Corningware dish. It's called something, but I don't use them very often. So I'm just going to pour that round. The Great Mexican Bake-Off. So as I said, it's a cross between Mexican food and lasagna, and I could have turned this into Italian, but I've got this tub of sour cream that I need to use up, so I thought, oh, well, I'll make it Mexican. Somebody at work said to me this afternoon, so what are you cooking? I go, I've got no idea. I'll let you know when I'm on the show. And literally, this is how my life runs. And so people go, oh, you need to meal prep, you need to be, organised. You can, and that can be really helpful for some people. But as long as you've got food in the cupboard, you can do whatever you like. It doesn't have to be meal prep. This is looking good. I'm basically just putting these around the bottom of this thing. So I'm cutting them, don't know if you can see. I'm basically cutting them, I reckon, into about sixths. So I do a cut down the centre and then thirds. So that goes into sixths, and I'm just kind of packing them on the bottom of this little Mexican dish. Now, so, can you see that? They're all packed in like little pigs in blankets down the bottom of this. Meanwhile, I'll take the lid off. This is cooking. So the onion's cooked. Oops. I just did the biggest slop. I probably should be wearing an apron. I'm not a particularly neat chefy person. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to pour this, or spoon this. I'm not pouring because that might be bad. That might not go well. I'm just spooning this over here for the moment. So this is basically just the onion passata and the mingle spice. And I'm just spooning that in and making it sure it goes in between all the little hamburgery things. So back to Mary's speech that seriously got a standing ovation. I'm so proud of her. It will come out onto YouTube on the Low Carb Down Under site, but probably not for, they have to edit it and do all their magic tricks. And it will come out probably not for a couple of months. So I've got this lovely mingle kind of passata-y thing. It's just a layer, it's nothing, there's no rocket science. And then I'm gonna get, what do we all like? Some cheese. So you could grate your own. I have done that on occasion, but I'm just going in and using these slices because, again, I want to show you that it can be super easy, super quick. So I'm just layering this with a couple of cheese slices. Oh God, don't tell me I have to open another little plastic thing. The last one, I'm still traumatised from opening my mingle. Okay, and so what's going to happen while that's going, I'm doing the next layer. So the next layer is going to actually involve a few little veggies. So I've got enough sauce left, maybe not quite enough, I don't know, I'll put the veggies in and find out. Because you know when you add veggies and suddenly something, the water from the veggies sort of leaks out, and your sauce that you thought was super thick isn't. Okay, so talked about the thingy. I'm having a few days on the Gold Coast with my 2 adults. Oh, good one, Lyndon. Lyndon's finding time to cook. Didn't think you should eat a lot of onion. You don't. I'm not eating this whole thing. This whole thing is for my family. This is probably about casserole dish. Thank you, Lyndon. This is probably about maybe 6 meals worth, I reckon. So 6 people could eat this. So it's not a whole lot of onion. If I was just cooking onion for myself, I wouldn't use that amount of onion if it was just me eating it. All right, so I'm putting this little baby back on, And now I'm actually using probably more veggies than I would normally, but I did my shopping last week and then I forgot I was going away for the weekend for this talk. So I sort of ran out of time to cook. So again, I probably wouldn't normally put zucchini in this, but these need to be used. So you know my motto, doesn't matter. Zucchini's not very Mexican, who cares? Just fling it in. So again, chunky, how I like it, because I'm not I have no finesse. I can't do neat little snip, snip, snip. So you'll see it's big chunky stuff, doesn't matter. Okay, that's going in. Look at me actually using a spoon, I'm so posh. Although being posh, I just flung a bit out the side. So I'm going to chop off another one. So I actually, while I'm here, I'm going to tell you, even though my head's chopped off, about another dish I cooked yesterday. Again, slightly mistiming my food requirements. Yesterday I started work at 9 o'clock in the morning, and it takes me 20 minutes to drive to work, and about 25 past 8 I was just getting my water bottle out of the fridge, and I noticed that there was a slab of chicken that needed cooking. It was about 10 chicken thighs, and they needed to be eaten technically the day before, but I had a sniff and they were still fine. But I didn't want to leave them another day. I thought, you know what, it's just getting a bit dodgy. So I got out my slow cooker and I basically flung in some more of that chopped onion. I just basically peeled the thing off the chicken and just flung it in. Like I didn't chop it, I didn't even separate them. I put in a bit of my vegetable stock paste, a 250 grams, so a slab of cream cheese, and put the lid on. Oh, sorry, herbs. Which one have I got? It still sitting on the bench. Sometimes I have. I just used the mingle, dill and herb one, which is my fave, and I just put a few hefty shakes in that. So when I came home about 10 hours later, basically I had shredded chicken, not too watery. I could have, if I wanted to make it, put it in some Jimmy cakes. I could have poured it over some zoodles. Or I could have done what I did, which was eat it out of a bowl. I remember I added one other vegetable in there. I had a packet of frozen cauliflower, so I just flung those in. Remember, frozen veggies are actually fine to use. If you're worried about, they have a bit more of an environmental impact because they're packed in plastic and they require refrigeration, but their nutrients are perfect. They are as nutritious as fresh vegetables, in fact often more, because they're frozen at the time that they're actually made. So again, what do? White, green and red. So capsicum, zucchini and mushrooms all going in. I'm having a little look at my thing. Just giving them a stir, put the lid on so I can chat to you girls while that just flings on. Put the heat up a bit. Oops. Anyway, I got home to this incredible pulled chicken. It was amazing. I thought, really? That was like less than 10 minutes. 25 past 8, all I did, literally fling them in. That's it, turn the bake. So there is no reason that we can't cook real food real fast. We don't even really need to have a lot of preparation. The only thing we need to do is food. Yes, Heather, I found the lid. I know. I know. Yay, so exciting. One of my personal commitments to myself is actually that I will cook real food, because it is not a problem. I don't look at it and think, oh my God, how annoying, I've got to cook. My thought, remember our thought model? Your thought creates your feeling, which creates your action. If your thought is that cooking is horrible, it takes forever, I can't believe I have to cook every night, that brings resentment, annoyance, frustration. The action is that you're less likely to cook. If your thought is like mine, I cook every night, it doesn't take a long time, I get to eat amazing, delicious food that I prepare myself, it's really quick and quite cheap. That gives me that feeling of commitment, empowerment, I'm going to do it. So the action is I cook real food. The result is obviously my health is better. So even when I'm tired, I have this habit of cooking real food because I've now done it for so long. just like brushing your teeth. Okay, there might be nights, like maybe last night, where it wasn't a gourmet feast. It was basically shredded chicken and cauliflower. Probably wouldn't win any awards for presentation, but it was still there. So there are nights where you might brush your teeth a bit faster, but you still do it. You just commit to actually cooking the real food no matter what. Then the health and weight loss benefits follow. It's quite amazing once you just decide that's what you're going to do. So does that mean we never have takeaway? No, we still do. Ooh, the end of the zucchini snuck its way in there. We still do from time to time, but not nearly as much as we used to. A few years ago, I used to think, well, Friday night, that's takeaway night because, you know, it's the end of the week, I'm very tired. Saturday night, well, it's the weekend, I'm relaxing, so why would I be cooking? Sunday night, well, I'm getting ready for the week, so, you know, I'm not going to cook. So I probably only cook 3 nights a week. Now I reckon I would cook, if we don't go out, we do occasionally, yay. If we don't go out, we would probably have takeaway once a fortnight, and it's usually Indian, one of my faves. Even though I cook Indian a lot, it is nice every now and then. I get these tandoori chopped lamb cutlets that are magnificent. I order butter chicken and lamb korma. I eat it in a bowl. I don't bother with the rice, obviously, and I don't have the naan bread. And I'm not even bothered cooking cauliflower rice. I can't be bothered. I just eat them in a bowl. It's a bit like a soup. It's delicious. I don't care. It's lovely. The treat is not the food. The treat is the fact that I don't have to cook it. So I'm just cooking away on this little thing, hoping that this will start to fire up soon. Good. It's looking good. So I'm mindful that we're sneaking into my more than half an hour time slot. But the good news is that while we're doing this, I'm hopefully giving you some coaching. Now, remember, in here I've got my hamburger things, I've got my Mexican passata spice mix, I've put some cheese on top. I've got some ham that needs to be used. Now again, I know ham's not Mexican. Maybe it is, maybe it's called, it is. It's called jamon, like Spanish. So maybe they eat it in Mexico. Anyway, I don't care. I'm just gonna fling some slabs of ham down, or some slices, not some slabs. It's quite slabby. Just as another layer while that little vegetable mix mixes up. I'm going to do this, and then what I'm going to do is get a spoon out and spoon some sour cream on this. Then I'll put my veggie mix in, and then I'll top it with some more cheesy things. If I had avocado, then obviously I'd fling some avocado in there. I've just realised I don't have a spoon. Give me a sec. Now, the other thing I'm going to talk to you, darlings, about is that, you know, the 12 weeks Mind Body Rebalance, the doors are open for that. Yeah, they close on Sunday. The program starts on Monday. Yay! We made a little mistake. We said that the first bonus, if you joined yesterday, you got the Mingle starter pack valued at over $50. You get the hypnosis 31-day hypnosis program that we have we haven't yet released it, but it's going to be released next month, and you get it for free as part of your package, and you get my masterclass on sugar addiction. So they were going to be for yesterday, and then today was just going to be the hypnosis and the sugar masterclass. But actually, a segment of our list, basically the people that signed up to say, tell us about the bonuses as soon as they came out, for some reason they got missed off our email. So we've said, all right, today you still get the mingle. So today you get your 3 bonuses along with the 12, I love this, along with your 12 weeks. So if you are considering signing up and you were worried that you missed the bonus of the mingle yesterday, if you've joined today, up until tonight, till midnight, you'll still get it. I'm getting some sour cream, and I'm basically just putting, well, that's a bit big, that blob. I'll just stick that in the middle. I'm just gonna get small blobs and just plop them around. As I said, part of the reason I decided to do Mexican was I had this sour cream that needed using. So you'll note, I'll go through my layers again. I basically got some hamburgers, browned them, didn't cook them all the way through because this is going into the oven as a bake. I got some onion and some passata, put my mingled taco seasoning through it. I then got some, and poured that over, filling in all the little holes of where the hamburgers, which were all chopped up. Then I've laid it with some cheese, some ham, some sour cream, and I reckon this will be ready. Oh, it is. Oh, look at that steam. Find somewhere to put this that doesn't involve putting it near my computer. Good. Okay, these are ready to go, so I'm just going to spoon that in. Normally I'd sort of pour it in because I'm a bit of a pourer, but it's actually a bit tight, this casserole dish. Thanks, Lyndon. So the thing about weight loss, which was one of I talked about why carb addiction is not your fault. I think you can pretty much guess the reason. But one of the things I highlighted is that marketing companies talk a lot about the feelings around food. You know, they don't say to you, buy my brown, sugary, bubbly water, drink Coke. They don't do that. They make a feeling so that we associate Coke with a feeling. And the feeling is, you know, fun and all that stuff. And in fact, that was their catchline, open happiness. And they had this bottle of Coke with some sort of happiness coming out. Cadbury, for about 5 years, talked about Joyville. The road to joy is paved with chocolate. What the majority of weight loss plans do is they focus on the action. The action. Do my meal plan, follow my recipes, drink these shakes, have this bariatric surgery, even follow this low carb plan. They don't then combine that with how do you manage your thoughts and your feelings. And if you want long-term sustainable weight loss, you have to do that. I'm so distressed by the number of people I see who have had bariatric surgery, who have lost lots of weight because of their surgery, and then it's slowly gone back on because they never addressed the underlying reason of why they ate or drank whatever it was they did in the first place. You can still drink 2 litres a day of Coke if you've got a sleeve. So I honestly think that for people wanting to do permanent weight loss change, you really have to be focusing on the ability to learn how to read your thoughts, recognize how your thoughts create your feelings, and how that determines your actions. My darlings, this is nearly finished. It's looking magnificent. So, just get this lid out of the way. So basically what I've done is I've spooned, just trying to make sure you can see it, I've spooned what is essentially ratatouille with Mexican spice on it. And now, to finish it off, I'm going to put more cheese on top because really, you cannot have a bake without cheese. And then I'm going to go and bang it in the oven. It'll be done in about 20 minutes. So this one is a longer dish. I did say it was fancier. It's not really fancier. You could do exactly all of this and just bang it into a bowl if you wanted to. But I just thought I'd show you that you don't have to always eat stuff in a bowl, although I have absolutely no objection to it because really for us, it's simples. And low carb real food doesn't have to be fancy. It can be simple. It's just blooming delicious. My lovelies, have a wonderful night. Where am I doing a talk next? I'm doing a talk tomorrow night at Low Carb Thermo Foodies. If any of you are in there, I will see you then. Otherwise, I am going away. I'm actually going away this weekend with my girlfriends. I'm super excited. I'm a bit tired, so I'm very much looking forward to it. We do have to balance work and play, and I'm a bit of a workaholic, so doing the play bit is a little harder to me. And I will see you all next week on the cooking show, or tomorrow 8 a.m. in our group, Low Carb Real Food. 8 a.m. I'm doing it live. See you then, darlings. Bye, sweets.